questions.
Jack, how good is the Holt kid?
Maybe NFL good. Maybe. I mean, he's real good on anybody's field. That's maybe all the way up to that field. He's really, really, really good.
And to say that, how good is
as a kick returner?
Okay. Yeah. And how good is Ryan White, the running back, since Holt is his backup?
Right.
And he's,
for what he does, he does it better than anybody in this league. And I would say that you'd be hard pressed to find anybody in FCS football who is an effective of a 2 and 3 gap runner. And that is to say that when you're working a first level and a second level of defense to fit into the running game, if you don't fit the gap he's running in or headed to, and both gaps every single time, he'll either take this one, or that one, and he'll be right. He's almost perfect efficiency at doing that, and his hitting is with his pads down, his feet running, and when he gets there, if you're halfway in it, halfway out of it, he's just going to come right through your arm tackle. Nobody challenges you that. I mean, that efficiency that they fit that running game into your defense. Most people don't have enough patience. I mean, if you say that they've got the right kind of runner and the right kind of mentality to just bring it at you, you stop it 5 times, guess what? You're getting it again and again. You're up 14 points, you're still getting it.
Is that with Holt or with White?
Well, both of them do it really well, right? But White is
White is the 2 and 3 gap guy.
Yeah.
Or Holt is the 2 and 3.
The 3 gap guy is White, and Holt does the same thing. Holt's a little bit more of an edge runner. White is a little bit more of a gap runner, inside gap runner. And you for Jacksonville State forward, he's Boyce Callahan. He's Boyce Callahan. Boyce weighing 165 pounds. You got to be right in all 3 gaps at the same time. Not one linebacker that's got this gap on this cutback and he's got that gap on that play. There's no 2 gapping. There's no 2 gap responsibilities. You got 8 gaps, you better have 8 people in them. Or 7 gaps, depending on whether they're playing with a tight end. And his one step, he's going full speed. And make the cut does not slow him down. That's what great ones that do this do now. It used to be sort of a standard, back when Boyce was doing it, everybody was looking for one of those. These guys don't jump out at you that much anymore. Clay Green could run like that. And I have great appreciation for those guys myself. Terry Allen was that way.
One play from Saturday I wanted to ask you about. Positive play for you guys. Wilkerson's touchdown.
Yeah.
Had you ever seen a receiver lay out a defensive player the way that Wilkerson did? Usually it's the other way around.
Right.
J.A. is creaming the guy.
Yeah, J.A. is a physical. I mean, he is hard to tackle. I mean, we probably don't just stand up and throw it to him and see if that guy can tackle him, because there's a chance that guy can cover him, but he can't tackle him. And I'd say that chance exists. You ask our corners, they don't want to have to tackle him. He's built like a fullback, but he's got. I know the NFL scouts. I don't promote any of them, but they always ask about J.A. and they always say, "Well, how fast is he?" Because he's a little bit like a Hines Ward kind of guy. There's so much physicalness in what he's doing. He's got great hands and so much physicalness in what he does that he's going to help your football team. I mean, we run in a perimeter and J.A.'s blocking. That guy's probably going to be on his back. They don't have very much of wideout. He's a special player now.
Does he go on the? This is purely being a smart guy.
Yeah.
Does he go on your kickoff coverage team this week? Because he one of
he
those
could.
guys that do that.
He could. They don't come to me. They go to Coach Stewart, and he's had a long list of volunteers. So,
Just wait till that physical.
He could,
contact
yes,
on that
no
one play.
question about it, but I don't think I'll do that. You know, I don't want anybody, you know, I don't want his hands affected, you know. We cover with James Shaw, you know, who's a very aggressive wide receiver, and he's doing a good job for us. So Jay's a really good player, really good player. I mean, he got over the top of Florida State, if you remember that, and you know their guys can run, and he pulled away from them on the top end. I tell that, I mean, I don't know how fast he is. We don't time in a 40. How fast is that corner from Florida State? He got over the top of it.
Are they gonna line up in an I, or are they spread it running out of there?
They're not all I. You know, they are H-back kind of. They've got a tight end that'll play in the I in front, but they do have a fullback. You know, it's sort of the 11th man formula. Sometimes it's a fullback, sometimes it's a tight end, sometimes it's a wide receiver. But everybody that's 11th man has a role in blocking some part of getting that running game up in there. A little bit more of a zone blocking when the 11th man's a wide out. A little bit more of insert blocking when it's or leading on a linebacker or at the edge when he's in the backfield. But you get 3 plays. I told the players, scout report is going to be easy, boys. They got 3 running plays and they're going to run it. And if you stop the running game, they're going to keep running it. And they're going to run the same 3 plays. It's like going to play the Naval Academy and saying you're going to get the inside veer. Yeah, for the last 15 years, you're going to get the inside veer. And it still works for them. Anything else?
As far as efficiency goes or execution,
Yeah.
what happened? Do you think the week off affected the?
In some areas it did, and this is the first game we've had a minus turnover differential. And the kicking numbers, efficiency numbers were horrendous. You know, you add to that their kickoff guy, it was a matter whether you could bring it out. And we kept stretching and telling James Shaw, hey, James, it started off saying, if you touch the top of the numbers, don't bring it out of there. Then he got to looking at me, Coach, James came up to me and said, Coach, they're so sure it's going out the back of the end zone. I look out there, and they broke down a long time ago, which we had said, sometimes you can set these guys up and bring it out of there. And so I said, okay, top of the numbers, you can bring it out. Well, heck, the next one is a god dang, you know. We were looking for all kinds of ways to have an excuse to bring that thing out of there. And James, he just shake his head, you know, because he thought, and we were putting people on the ground. But I don't know. I had them time it to see if it was going flat where the time factor would give us an advantage to come out from deeper. And no, I mean, the guys, and that little bit of a wind really messed with us. You know, when he had it, it was way out of there. And we were kicking into it. It really knocked. It knocked Patrick's ball off considerably of what he could do. Some winds, you know, affect the ball more than they look like. Some less than they look like.
Did